Check that out. Dang. You can't even see it. That one's over 4. That's over 4. That's a good fish right there. That's number 4 for the morning off the first rock pile. Good afternoon and welcome to this week's episode of San Diego Bass Fishing Podcast. Today we're going to bring you, well, first of all, smash that subscribe, pound that like, show the love. We totally appreciate it. We're coming up on 1,000 subscribers. As we get a little closer, I'm going to announce a giveaway so that once we do hit 1,000, we'll be giving away, I don't know, but how about a new iRod? How about that? Well, so to whoever subscribes, likes the channel, subscribes to the channel, we will give away a new iRod once we hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you, Matt Newman. iRod, they're awesome rods. This week, what's going on this week? So anyway, what we're doing for this podcast, we're going to have an interview, and it is going to be somebody who's been here before, and super stoked to have him back on. He is, whatever. It's Randy Lewis. So stay tuned for Randy Lewis. He's going to be showing up here. Are we going to do a juice? I don't know if we're going to do a juice this week. So anyway, what is going on with the lakes this week? Quick rundown. El Capitan, launch ramp. It's a funny thing about El Capitan. Last week, on the podcast, I was all spilling the tea and like, oh, they're going to close the launch ramp at El Cap and they're going to put barrels in front of it, and then it didn't happen. Like I'm waiting, I'm like, okay, I heard this was going to happen, and I know my sources are good, and what's going on? People are coming in the shop. They're like, woo, I'm going to go launch, and I'm going to take my fiberglass down there, and we're going to launch, and screw those guys. I'm just moving the pylons, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, they're going to close the ramp. And then it didn't happen. And then it didn't happen again. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. I went out on a limb. I said I was going to do, I said this was going to happen, and it's not happening. And so now I look like a real idiot. Well, it happened. They did what they said they were going to do. And we were just a little early to the party. And I probably shouldn't have said anything until it happened, But I got ahead of myself. But it did happen. They put barricades in front of the last long lane of the launch ramp, which was, there was 4 lanes, and the third lane it was longer, and you could launch a boat. And they don't want that. They on the 26th of December, one of the higher ups came down, saw that there was a bunch of boats on the lake, and said, we can't be doing this, blah, blah, blah. And so they decided to go ahead and close the lake, close the launch ramp, excuse me. It is still the same. Float tubes, kayaks, car toppers are all allowed on the lake. If you can get your boat in the water without putting your trailer in the water, more power to you. There is space on either side of those barriers. And to do that, I was out at El Cap yesterday, and it was okay. It wasn't great. I'm pretty happy with what is just starting, because it's turning into a dragging game. It's turning into, so crankbaits early in the morning, maybe a little bit of chatterbait fish early, first thing. And then once that backs off, start dragging worms, Carolina rig, jigs. I did all the jig fishing. I'm kind of all about jig fishing this year, I think, especially now we're going to have Randy Lewis, king of the jigs, king of the San Diego jig fisherman, in my opinion. He's going to be on tonight, and we're going to go over a lot of jig fishing tonight, or on this podcast. And so I went jig fishing and caught a bunch on a jig. They were biting the jig at Cap. So that was cool. That was fun. It's always fun to catch jig fish, because, you like get that bite, like thunk, And it's like, okay, here we go. Is it going to be an 8-pounder? Or you just go back, set the hook. It's like, and it's like, no, it's not an 8-pounder. It's a 2-pounder, but, but whatever. Definitely catch enough 8-pounders on jigs. And that's coming up. So we're going to talk about jig fishing tonight. And as far as the other lakes go, Lower Otay, I was on Lower Otay last week, and you know, it's good fishing. It's a lot of deep water fishing at this point, 30, 40 feet, chasing around live scope fish, jig head minnow, ice jigs, blade baits, that kind of thing. And it's out there, way out in the middle. So if you're going to go to Otay, be prepared for that. There's still a little bit of shallow fish to be had. I'm not going to say that's totally done, but a lot of that fish has moved out into deeper water chasing shad. Very fat fish. There was a couple of 8-pounders caught last week. Congratulations to Brenner and Bryce. They won National Bass West with an 18-pound bag. What I wanted to say, so let's see if I can call it up here real quick, is as far as Otay is concerned, we're looking for National Bass West. And it's real quick here. I just want to get it straight, you know. So, and there's one thing that I want to give a shout out to. Here we go. Lower Otay. Okay, so the pros. So Brenner and Bryce won with 17.81 pound bag. Big fish was 8 pounds. Their big fish was 8 pounds, not big fish for the tournament. Yeah. Jake Evans, Jackson Polachek, second place. Third place, Justin Hanold, Jason Lamoun. Boy, I'm sorry, Jason. That's on me. Sorry about that. Butcher your name. But fourth place was Rich Vincent, Garrett Howard from basically up north. They fish DVL a lot. And the reason I say DVL a lot is because they went from fourth place at Lower Otay on Saturday up to Diamond Valley and proceeded to win Diamond Valley the third time in a row with a 25-pound bag. Congratulations, Garrett Howard, Rich Vincent. Rich has been on the podcast. If you want to look him up, he was on the podcast, 6 months ago or whatever. I think it was almost it wasn't a year ago, but it was great guest. He makes his own A-rigs. He has a little special thing that he does with his A-rigs. And not that he caught those big fish on A-rigs over at Diamond Valley, but whatever. So fifth place, Kevin Norling, Wade Strelick, Chris Owen. Kevin's been on the podcast. Sixth place, Chris Owen, Travis Hargis. Chris Owen's been on the podcast. He caught that 14-pounder earlier in the year. So if you guys want to go research the past podcasts, all those guys have been on the podcast. So here for San Diego Fast Fishing, and let's see. So that happened on Saturday. I'm forgetting something. Something happened on Sunday, and I can't remember what it was. But anyway. El Capitan, as far as water levels go, I know we talked about the launch ramp, and the launch ramp is still closed. El Capitan, it came up as of this afternoon, which today is Wednesday. This podcast will be released tomorrow morning on Thursday. El Cap has come up 19 inches. With this last bout of storms, we had like 3 storms in a row kind of thing. It has come up 19 inches, which is a nice thing. It's not enough to get the launch ramp back, but it's heading in the right direction. Now, if they could just leave that water in there, and not pull it out, we got our fingers crossed. They're going to leave the water in there. Sutherland. Poor Sutherland, man. It is just getting the tar kicked out of it. They are pulling a foot a week out of Sutherland right now. It came up 6 inches with the rain, and obviously they just pulled it right out. It doesn't even matter. Sutherland is really in dire straits here. It's down to 9% of its total water volume. We have seen this. Obviously, we've seen this in the past where I think it was in 2013, 2014, where Sutherland was down like this, and it took a couple of years for it to come back. It took some hellacious amounts of rain for Sutherland to really come back, which we had, fortunately, after that. But I remember the launch ramp was closed for at least a couple of years there at Sutherland. And it's straight kayaks, straight float tubes, which is going to be horrendous this year. Sutherland, with that small of pool and everything condensed down into that small of pool, is going to be crazy good fishing for the kayaks and the float tubes if they don't open that launch ramp. If they don't get enough water, whatever, it's going to be good anyway. But man, I can only imagine what that shad spawn is going to be like up there. Holy smokes. Oh my goodness. It is going to be nuts. It's going to be like Barrett. It's going to be like Barrett. If the water level stays the same, hopefully they don't pull any more out. Like it's getting down there. It's really getting down there. So anyway, Sutherland, Otay. So the water going from Sutherland is going into San Vicente. San Vicente is coming up. Well, I don't know how much they're going to pull out, how much more they're going to pull out of Sutherland for San Vicente, and what they're going to do after that. At that point, Lower Otay is coming up. There's water coming from Barrett into Lower Otay. Not a lot. The flume is open. It's working for the most part, but there is water coming into Lower Otay. Lower Otay is coming up. Whatever. It's still down to 3 launch ramps. 3 lanes on the launch ramp at Lower Otay. It's so really not much, but it is coming up a little bit. And what else do we have here? That's about it. I'm in the midst of filming 2 podcasts tonight, so I got to go and record this first podcast. Then I'm doing Randy Lewis after this podcast, recording 2 of them. So we're going to have, we're going to try to get back on track here with every Tuesday, release dates of every Tuesday. What else is going on? That is about it. I am going to have stickers available. I'll have a little stack of them at East County Bait and Tackle. If you guys want stickers, I don't have them yet, but hopefully this week I'll get them and I'll put them there on the counter. They'll be free. Just take a sticker. Just don't get me in trouble. Don't be sticking it on anything you're not supposed to. And that's it. So here is Randy Lewis. Welcome back to the San Diego Bass Fishing Podcast, Randy Lewis.
Cool. What's it been, a year and a half?
It's been I think it's been a little over a year.
Right.
But you are the first one. You're the first podcast of the new year, though. So I wanted to have you on.
Cool. All right.
You're definitely one of the most popular podcasts that we've had, for sure. Yeah. You were the first one to achieve like 1,000 views. 1,000 people watched you, and yeah, and it's still definitely one of the most popular that we've had. So
hopefully guys learn a few things, or learn how I do things, and helps them out a little bit. That's kind of the goal, right?
Yeah. So for all of our new listeners or viewers or whatever, this is Randy Lewis, and he's one of the most winningest San Diego tournament anglers in the local scene that there is. Like, he's won a lot of money, a lot of tournaments at Diamond Valley and our local lakes down here, and he is proficient at the things that he does, I should say, like jig fishing. So how you been, Randy?
I've been good. I haven't been fishing as much as I have in the past due to local conditions, but we're spending a little bit of time on the water, but it's been tough. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know. And I honestly don't want to get into it.
Right.
As far as the whole political and water levels and this and that, I just want to talk about some fishing today.
Sounds great.
I'm kind of beat up over that stuff. It seems like.
Yeah, we all are a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so I have a question that I told you I was going to ask you this question. This is my main question. This is what we're going to stem off of. Explain to me, we're just going to jump right into it. Explain to me how to catch a bass on a jig in San Diego during the months of January and February.
Oh boy. Good times. January and
What?
February, good times.
I mean, February is your deal, right? This is your jam.
October to October is my deal, but no, right now I really from October on it really gets fun. It changes throughout October through March, maybe February. Um, right now I think these fish are balled up. A lot of them are out on that bait. We know that, but I think there's groups of them that are on the move.
Yeah.
And as the water rises, in some cases as the water temperature changes, the days are starting to get longer now. Those fish they're near they're not in the spawning areas, but they're near them.
Yeah.
And so personally I'm looking for a highway. The points don't really interest me. Um, all the community hole stuff doesn't really interest me this time of year. What interests me is that highway that those fish are gonna start running down, and when they do, you can fish 2 or 3 hours without a bite, then you're gonna catch 10 in a row.
Yeah.
And so I'm really looking for that stuff, and you start to figure it out. I mean, you start to see, the typical spawning flats are out there. I was starting
Mhm.
those areas, work my way out, and I'm not much for meters and all that, but I'll use them on occasion. And you'll see the groups of fish, and you start fishing for them, and then you'll start to catch them, whether it's on a jig or whatever bait you choose. But
So
that's where these tournaments are going to get won on those highways.
yeah, so you made the comment of they're kind of in transition. They're on that bait or they're moving into they're kind of changing. And this is exactly what I saw this week at El Cap. I was just at El Cap yesterday,
Mhm.
and I finally got on a dragging bite. Like
Mhm.
and it was on a jig. Like I kind of
Right.
knew this was coming up, between you and I, the podcast with you. So I was like, man, I tied a jig on, and I went back to an area that had found some fish in on a crankbait earlier in the morning, and I tied a jig on, and that's what I just stuck with it. And first couple of fish, super shallow, like 3 feet.
Right.
And it was like a windy bank, and it was all bitching. And then that like petered off, and I just backed out, and then all of a sudden, like 12 feet, rocky point, but it could have been considered a highway. But anyway, and then they were just like stacked in like 11 to 12 feet. Like there they are, and they were
Right.
they were biting the
Right.
jig.
Yeah, and there's no mistaking when you land on them.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
bite. They don't care. They bite, and they keep biting. It can be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So you make your own jigs, right?
Right. Yeah.
What's what does like what size of jigs are they? Do you have a special hook or anything, or how do you go about making them?
Uh, Pretty basic. A four aught, 60 degree.
Hmm.
It'll be anywhere from 3/8 to a 5/8 ounce jig. Sometimes Havasu, maybe I'll drop down to a quarter ounce, but typically it's going to be a 3/8 to a half, and then the high sides of 5/8. And you
Hmm.
can really tell a lot between a 3/8 and a 5/8. This is a big difference in performance depending on what you're trying to do. Double wire weed guard I seem to like. It doesn't look like it's sticking out there, like a sore thumb. It blends in. You can bend them to the angles you choose, And then I don't hand tie. I use collars, rubber collars on everything. So it's a simple build, and it's I can produce them a lot. And you know, if I run out one night, I'm going the next day. I can go build 20 real quick, and I'm good to go in an hour. I just have all the parts ready to go, and I can put together what I want pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you did you powder paint them? How do you paint the heads?
Yeah, everything's powder painted.
Oh, okay.
And
All
it's
right.
just, you know, toaster oven and some powder, some pliers. It's, you know, there's several ways to do it. That's the way I choose, and I can produce 20 of them in 10, 15 minutes. Some guys cook them longer. You know, the instructions will tell
Oh
you
yeah, right.
40 minutes to get the hard coat. My jigs don't last long enough to worry about the paint.
Yeah.
You know, I'll throw them out, or I'll wear them out, or I'll lose them.
Yeah.
One of our jokes is, you know, what color do you get them on today? And it was brown and silver, because the paint's all worn off of it. You know, but they still buy it. It doesn't really. I mean, there are sometimes it might matter, but most of the time, not so much.
So it seems like it's more of a technique that you're using, and it's not necessarily the lure.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to tell somebody, you know, instruct someone how to do it, first thing I would do is I would ask them what color do they like, because confidence is huge. If you're throwing something out there that's been proven by everyone else but you, you're still going to have your doubts. So if you've caught fish on a green pumpkin, let's say, that's a great color, stick with it. They're going to
Mm.
bite it. You know, I'll stick with a brown, a green pumpkin, and a black, and that's it. But probably brown most of the time, and that's not many people's choice, but it's my choice for sure, because it's done some serious damage in these city lakes and Havasu and, you know,
Mhm.
Diamond Valley. So that's the first thing, and go with what you're confident in. It's going to work.
Yeah.
And the second thing I can't emphasize it enough is slow down.
There it is.
You can get pretty aggressive and pretty violent with the hops and the skips, but then you have to stop. You got to park that thing and give them a chance to eat it. And that's when they're going to, almost every single time they're going to eat it, when it's sitting. Like I
Mm.
said, you can hop it foot or two, 3 feet, whatever, but you got to let them eat it, and they will. But if you're constantly on the drag and, you know, popping and jerking and swimming, you're not going to have a lot of success with the jig. But if you can park it, you know, 2, 3 seconds at a time in between a couple good hops or something, and then park it a couple more and park it, and falls off a rock, let it sit at the bottom. It's pretty amazing what'll happen.
Yeah.
And I always park it with a little bit of slack in my line, so if they're behind it and they eat it, they've got some slack to pull it into their mouth versus a tight line. So I'll stop it, dip my rod tip just enough to get a little loop in there. Nothing huge, and you can still feel the bites through the line anyway.
Yeah.
When they crack it, you can feel the vibration. And if not, as soon as you pick it up, it'll be there.
Yeah.
But that's my probably my best piece of advice, is to really slow down and give them that opportunity.
Uh-huh.
It's huge. It's beyond huge. You know, this whole swim jig thing. I see guys swim jig this, swim jig that. I don't even know what the hell that is. You know, I don't know. I have no application for a swim jig, and that's
It's
just
just a
me speaking. You
it's a
know, a
swim
lot of
bait.
guys are gonna say, "What's this guy talking about?" But that's just my personal view. You know, I think you go to a chatterbait or a spinnerbait or something if you're going that route. But I've never really made a whole lot of sense with a swim jig,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm really slow, methodical, and it just kind of goes against what I do.
Uh-huh. And what's that attached to? Is that are you fishing 15 or 20 pound, or
I
do you
really
have a leader, or is it just floor straight?
I really
Long?
like that sniper, that Sunline Sniper 16 seems to do it for me.
Yeah.
I can bend hooks with that, so I know I'm strong enough. And you know, Phoenix rods, 711, pretty long rods, 711 medium or extra or fast, heavy fast. Of Corrado K's, 8 5-to-1s, real fast.
Yeah.
So everything is set up for distance and speed as far as hook sets and you get bit with your rod tip high, a couple quick cranks and you're on them. And the slower reels, I really can't do that with. So I try to keep it fast. I try to keep it really strong. So when I'm setting the hook at the end of a long cast, I still got a lot of power,
Mm.
and it works. I mean, I'm in that position a lot, so I would, that's a setup I use.
Which so you're primarily fishing jigs in like a casting situation. You're not like flipping them short distances or whatever. You're like casting towards rocks and then dragging them and getting bites.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, we don't have a lot of that flipping conditions out here.
Right.
Uh,
Or boat docks or
we
anything.
have zero docks, and if we do fish them, we either get DQ'd from the tournament or kicked off the lake. There's not a whole lot of leeway there. Um, so yeah, I'm probably the last person to talk to about flipping docks, but God, if there were some docks around here, I'd probably be really good at it.
Yeah.
I think that's a spot where those fish would be for sure. It's
Yeah.
not the highway type situation, but it's definitely a spot where you could target them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anywhere you call your shots, I'm in, and so yeah, long cast. I like to cast beyond the target and then drag it into it. I think I don't think a bait falling straight down on their head is going to attract them as much as one that just shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So when I'm
Yeah.
fishing shallow, I like to cast very shallow, like dry land shallow sometimes, and pull it in, and versus landing in 5 feet off the bank where the fish are, and then either it spooks them or they're just so used to seeing that they just swim off.
Mm.
They know better because these fish they're not dumb around here. So I want them to, I feel that the shallow fish are probably 5 to 8 feet, maybe even less, and they're looking up and they see that thing coming downhill to them from nowhere, and they just react. I mean, I fished a tournament the other day, and we knew where we were going, and we landed on it. We went to this spot, and my partner made the first cast, and we knew exactly this 20-foot pocket where these fish are going to be, and they made a cast, and he had one on, I don't know, in 10 seconds,
Yeah.
and it was just under 5. Then I came out and I got a cast in after the net and caught one that was just a little bit bigger than that, still just a little under 5. And then he made another cast and dumped one that was real big. And then I dumped one that was real big. And then he broke one off that was real big. So we caught 2 out of the 5 in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were gone. Those fish were gone all day. Never came back.
Huh.
But it was straight chaos for 10 minutes. It was really cool. So we would have capitalized on all those. It would have been a pretty good day, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. No, it
Right.
still was a lot of fun. I'll never forget. It was a fun morning. Pretty wild.
Yeah. Yeah. That was up at Diamond Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on. So which lakes do you consider good jig lakes?
I mean, you can go to Sanby right now and get them on a jig, but they're
Yeah.
not big. They're just not. There's no size out there right now, so that doesn't appeal to me. I'm not a numbers guy. I'm let's target a little bit better grade or a real big fish. But San Vicini's not a bad jig lake at all, and especially if someone's learning. You can go out there and get your bites and get it figured out a little bit. Otay can be phenomenal. El Cap, there's nothing quite like El Cap when jig fishing's on. Diamond Valley is the same way. Diamond Valley can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Diamond Valley is a little tricky to figure out once you just got to spend time there. Once you do, you start to learn a few things. It starts to make sense, and then you start catching them. Then you go without. Then you have a day with nothing, and start over again.
Right.
So it's tricky, but if I had my choice, obviously El Cap is the one.
Did you fish Hodges much back when it was had water in it?
I fished it back in the '80s when we were throwing crawdads, and we did really well, just double anchored, and
Yeah.
we had a blast. And I don't think I ever caught a 10-pounder out of there, but I caught a lot of 4, 6. I did get an 8 something out of there when I was a kid, but those guys were getting a lot of 10, 12. I think a 20 came out of there, but that was my Hodges time. But that's kind of my Achilles. I've never done good at Hodges. The,
Hmm.
the little bit that I did get to spend on there, and all my buddies laugh at me because that's their favorite lake, all of them. And
Yeah, I
uh,
thought you would, yeah, it would be right up your alley.
I didn't get enough time to really figure it out, but yeah, that's what everybody says. Says I would, if I just knew it, I would do better. But I never really got the chance to
Huh.
do it in this round. So maybe I'll get a chance here, and if I don't know, hopefully they'll get that thing figured out. And we'll get going on it again.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what's going on with that whole scenario? But so have you been to Lake Elsinore
Never,
lately?
no, I've never
Never?
been there. I went there, bought my wife a jet ski years and years ago, and we went up there to run it. And there were so many people there, I couldn't believe it. I mean, we're in our lawn chairs
Oh, yeah, I
50
bet.
feet offshore just to find a spot to set them down. It was unbelievable. So that's
Right.
my experience. But I know some guys that live up there that have a pretty good time.
Yeah, yeah. I've been hearing stuff and rumors and this and that, and I've been thinking about going up there. I don't know. It's kind of a drive, I guess. But Diamond Valley is too, So
Yeah, it's I got it down from the time my alarm goes off to the time, and I'm in Ramona, and to the time I'm in line at the lake, it's 2 hours.
yeah,
Get up, get ready, hook up the boat. It's a 2 hour trip. So that's
yeah,
with no traffic early. So it is a little bit of a run, but it's a big lake. There's a lot of room to run, and it's a lot of fun. And you catch some big bags. I mean, we had 30 pounds up there last year and got second.
right, yeah,
And that's kind of fishing that you run into up there. So it's pretty cool when it's biting, and it's about ready to start. It's showing some signs right now. It's a little bit of a algae bloom right now. It's dying off finally, but some of the parts of the lake are really, really ugly,
yeah.
and some of it's cleaning up, and
What?
these fish are getting active.
Yeah. What's the process of launching there? What kind of what do they check for as far as your boat goes, as far as water inside your boat?
So, I
Like,
mean, the guy's going to look at it overall right away, look at your tags, make sure you're up to date on all that, which is he's going to punch your tags into his little tablet that he has. Just that's his process of logging who's there.
uh-huh.
And then they're going to look in your live wells, and they're going to trim your motor down, and they're
Oh,
going to pull your drain plug. But it's not that intrusive. These guys are real fair,
yeah.
and if you do your best to do your part, you're not going to have any problems at all.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's good
they're
to hear.
not they're not out looking for trouble. They're just doing their job, and they're very fair about it. So I don't think, like I said, if you're not tagged and you try to go up in the rain, I don't think it's going to work out. But
Right.
so if you are anticipating a tournament or something and it's going to rain, get up there in advance and get your tag. Probably be the best advice. But yeah, they're real fair about it. It's pretty rare somebody gets turned around, and when they do, it's probably well deserved.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess Paris is the same way. You know that? You know
Yeah.
if that's
Yeah, it's pretty close. I know there's a sign on the kiosks now to pay to go into Diamond. It says we will no longer accept tags from other lakes, meaning if you get
oh,
your boat tagged at Paris, it doesn't matter to Diamond.
okay.
So keep
Yeah.
that in mind. I don't know what brought that on, but that's what's going on there now.
Huh. Yeah. I just hear so many like nightmare stories, especially like Casitas, Kachuma, up in that LA area where they just, they got at least a 2-week quarantine.
Yeah, that's a whole can of worms up there. I don't even want to get involved.
And I feel so bad for those guys.
Yeah, they don't. They're just stuck up there. Diamond's nowhere near that.
Yeah. Okay.
And like I said, if everything's in order, your tags, and they'll punch your CF numbers in, do that quick check. It's a 2-minute deal,
Mhm.
if that, and off to the next. And they're real fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right on.
But,
Um, how do you ever use pork?
oh man, boy, back in the day, say back in the day, 10, 12 years ago, we were using this stuff called super pork, and
Uh-huh.
it was really good. It was this avocado colors. It looks like a kind of an Uncle Josh little twin tail thing,
Yeah.
and it was a really cool color, like a avocado. I mean, it kind of says it. That's what it was, and we were dependent on it.
Yeah.
And it was a mom and pop company in Northern California, and the guy died,
Yeah.
and the wife just stopped. I think she knew how to do it, but she was done, and we talked to her and show us the ropes, and it wasn't happening. We go to the butcher shop and buy pork, the slabs of the fat, and cut them ourselves and do everything we could to dye them. We couldn't even come close to what we were after, so we don't use pork anymore.
Right.
But that
Yeah.
super pork was really good stuff, and yeah, I wish I had some, because it I don't know, it was a game changer. We got some pretty good stuff now, but that stuff was amazing back in the day, and we were we were sick when all that went down.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a bummer when Uncle Josh stopped making it. I don't know. I got some of the new Uncle Josh pork rinds and this and
Hmm.
that. I don't know if they're the same. They look kind of stiff, you know. I
Right.
remember Uncle Josh just being really soft, and it was tough, of course. It was pork, but it was like soft, you know.
Hmm.
This new stuff doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into it a whole lot, but if I run across the right kind of texture and colors, and I definitely give it a whirl.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
works. There's no doubt it works.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. I threw a couple of jars in there since since I got some jig fish there yesterday. I threw a
Hmm.
couple of jars of pork in there. I wanted to try them out. On I'm going to go back on Friday,
Yeah.
so looking forward to that. That was fun. Those jig bites are fun. It was a
Yeah.
kicking. It was a kick. You just it's like one of those things, especially in places like Cap or Diamond Valley or whatever. It's like you get a bite and you don't know what you're going to swing on, if it's going to be a 8-pounder or a 2-pounder. And
Sure.
so so that, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to getting back out there.
You get any good ones?
No, 5 pounds, high fours.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, yeah, I didn't get a bunch, and it was only really that one spot. It seems like they're really grouped up right now. Um, and even the crankbait fish, I only got them in like 2 different areas. One was on like a rocky point, and then another one was kind of on a flat. And then I left that and looked at some other stuff. I went up to the tree hole. I haven't caught anything off the tree hole. I haven't caught anything in outhouse or anything up there. Everything's like main lake right now.
Hmm.
And so anyway, I came back, and like on my way back, I stopped on one of those spots, and it was like just like game on. I didn't catch a bunch, you know, 7, 8 fish, whatever.
That's a good
Um,
day.
yeah, it was good jig fishing for the afternoon. I mean, yeah, yeah.
I mean, you catch them quick. I remember that one evening, and I saw you out there, and you were kind of done for the day. There's an hour or so left at El Cap, and you said they're here. And I think from the time you said that to the time I got to the dock, I had almost 27 pounds.
I I know. You text me and I was like, oh yeah, how'd you do? You're like, oh, it was good.
And it wasn't like you throw out there and they're racing for it, but every other cast or so, thunk, and it
Yeah,
was another 6, 7 pounders or whatever it was.
yeah, yeah.
It was great. Yeah, those days are here, or they're real
I
close to being
know
here.
that it's soon coming. Soon coming.
Yeah.
So do you have a kayak or something you can go out there with?
I have a canoe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with a trolling
All right.
motor on it, and so it's a little bigger than a kayak. I got some room to run in that thing. I've only
Mhm.
been out a couple times in it, and thinking it might go out this weekend. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah,
It's time. I
yeah.
got to spend some time at Diamond. You do this tournament thing, either do it. If you don't put in the time, you're going to have poor results.
Sure.
So I
Oh,
definitely got to put in the time up there, at least to, even if I do have poor results, at least you gave it your all.
hmm.
And so lately, with doing some home remodeling and stuff, and it's just been tough getting out, but it's starting to free up now. So Diamond's
Yeah,
definitely the target.
yeah.
But God, El Caps is, that's Disneyland right now.
It really is.
Oh, yeah.
I just did a podcast right before this one, and
Mhm.
I had there's these two kids, or I call them kids, and they're out there like multiple times during the week, like 3, 4 days a week right now, just loving the fact that there's no boats. They're
Oh, yeah.
one of them's got a little pond prowler, and the other's got a kayak, and they're just throwing glide baits. So that's all they do.
Hmm.
He's the kid that caught that 11 and a half.
Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah. So so I did an interview with them. I did a podcast with them, and
Hmm.
and uh, they're having the best time. Like they their stories, they just went on and on. Oh yeah, we're catching them this way. We're doing this. Oh, we had so many bites. We had 20 bites that day, and blah blah blah. So yeah, it's pretty darn good right now.
Those fish have let their guard down.
Totally. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and especially now, because now there's no boats.
Hmm.
I mean, before there was trackers and you get the occasional fiberglass boat and whatever. So there was still like some wakes and engine noise and
Right.
whatever. Now, not, there's no boats.
Hmm.
Very, very few of those little aluminums that can still push off of a trailer kind of thing.
As much as it bums me out that we can't get out on the water. I think it's probably a good thing for the lake. Let that thing
It's-
reset a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
And then when the water does start coming in, if it comes in really fast and hard, it'll get muddy. Those fish will scatter a little bit, and it
Mm.
won't be that good. It'll be good for some, but not for
Yeah,
everybody. And then
right,
it'll settle
right,
down, and it'll be good again. So
right.
hopefully, hopefully we get enough this summer, or excuse me, this winter to keep us going through the year.
Yeah. So according to the gauge, and I watch it too. I go out there a lot. Even if I don't fish, sometimes I'll just drive out there and look at it.
Right. Hmm.
And the gauge reports that it's 19 inches. It came up 19 inches
All right.
with
Well,
the
that's
last three storms.
what do we need to open
Yeah,
that?
yeah. That's another question in itself, because I've heard anywhere from 2 to 5 feet, and I think we need another 2 feet. We need another
So
20 inches.
do we need an act of Congress to open that up now, or since it's closed, or are they just going to say, okay, we're good and pull the barrels and be done?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, you would hope that they were able to just make that decision right there at the lake and say, hey, we're here where we were when we were launching before. Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't have to go through some political process because you know where that's headed.
Oh, oh no, no, no. I don't think it's a political process. I
Good,
think
good.
I think it's just,
Yeah.
whoever, Brian or Nikki or whatever, they're just gonna come down and be like, okay, it's you're not gonna fall off the edge of the ramp. May have to go demonstrate something, demonstrate a 21 footer going in there.
Would that be all 3 lanes to do
They,
that,
oh
or would
yeah,
it?
oh yeah. They're gonna wait until all three are
Yeah, I can
submerged.
understand. I understand their thinking on that because people will just, well, they'll
Well,
just be people.
that was the problem was it got so low that there was guys there was like 2 pontoons in one weekend that went off the edge, and they had to have a tow truck come down and pull them out, and just
Oh,
like
really?
it was like
Wow.
this huge mess.
Yeah.
And that was the original reason that they closed the launch ramp. And then this last time, everybody was kind of taking advantage of the situation and launching their
Sure.
bigger boats, double axle trailers and this and that on that long piece of launch ramp that's still viable. And one of the higher ups, like the lake staff's their boss, came down and saw that there was a bunch of boats on the lake.
Hmm.
And they're like, "What are these boats doing here? You guys, we told you there's signs everywhere."
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I mean, there's literally signs like 4 or 5 different places, and so then that's now they've cordoned it off, and you can't do. They had enough.
yeah. I mean, I went out there in the canoe and all of a sudden I'm surrounded by aluminum boats with outboards on them, and I'm going, well, what the hell,
Yeah,
Um, I was a little disappointed, to be honest, but I'll just leave it at that. Hopefully, we're beyond that now.
yeah, that is. That's been taken care of. It's been addressed and whatever. So
Yeah.
hopefully we get some rain, and then we won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the desert lakes too. The Havasus and Mojaves are always in play, which are a lot of fun now.
Which is going to happen here soon. I mean, so my first tournament is this month. I'm gonna be going to meet here in a few weeks, couple of
Really?
weeks. Yeah, for
Oh,
the
your club?
ABA,
Oh,
the desert, the Nevada ABA.
okay.
That one, Kyle Grover fishes it. Todd
Yeah.
Holverson fished it last year.
Yeah, Rich Vince, not Rich, but
Yes.
Garrett. Garrett's going to be out there.
Yep. Garrett fishes. I think he fishes with uh
Kyle.
who did I just say? Kyle, yeah.
Yeah, those guys are tough.
Oh, oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of money though.
yeah. Kyle and or Rich and Garrett have been diamond. They team up there, and they've won the first 3 MBWs already.
I know. I know.
And
I
they've
made
won
note of
them.
that. I was like, before I do a little introduction to this, and I made note of that those guys, this was their third win at Diamond Valley, and they took fourth place at Otay last weekend.
Yeah. Those guys are for real, and they work hard at it. They're I think they're pulling that boat all day, every day, somewhere. Yeah, they put in the time. That is
Yeah,
no fluke that they're just winning. They've earned every bit of that. So
yeah,
congrats to those guys. I know them pretty well, and they're both really solid guys. I like them, so I'm happy to see them doing that. And
yeah.
we're gonna do our best to try to take them out every time, but it hadn't worked yet.
Well, maybe next month.
Yeah, that's all you do. You keep trying because it will happen,
Oh
whether it's
yeah,
us or
oh yeah,
someone else.
yeah. We've seen
And,
it in the past. We know you can
yeah.
come back.
Oh yeah. One of my buddies he got second up there Sunday at Diamond, and his last 2 casts he caught a 4 and a 8.5 to finish his limit and get second.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you never know up there. It's crazy.
yeah. Four
Uh,
and an 8.5.
yeah.
I'd like to catch an 8.5.
It'll happen.
Maybe someday. All right, Mr. Lewis. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Thanks for taking your time out of your schedule there and coming on
Yeah.
and joining us.
It's always good talking to you guys. It's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
just
yeah,
all you.
I'm gonna download this, and then we're gonna get it out tomorrow morning.
All right, yeah. Like I
So
said, all you aspiring jig fishermen out there, or slow it down.
there you go.
I cannot emphasize that enough. Just based on my experience, um, it's the game changer. It's the magic. It'll change it.
It's like, when we've talked about this before, but when we get the kids in the boat And it's like, and you're just fishing drop shots and jigs, like winding and winding and winding. It's like, what are you guys doing? How do you even get a bite?
Yeah, we as boaters we'll talk, and what did you guys do today? We went speed worming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's some of these kids are they're really really good, and some of them are learning and they want to learn, but some of that stuff never makes it to the bottom.
Oh. Oh yeah.
They're just popping and reeling, and it never even sees a rock or a ledge or anything. It's just so fast. Come on, guys. But, it's all part of the process. We were all there, and it's fun to watch them. They're good kids.
Yeah, yeah. They're just excited and being young. Yeah. But the ones that have learned to slow down have done very, very well.
They have.
They're doing very good.
Ava.
Ava did, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She still comes out with me every once in a while now that she's aged out. She's got such a busy schedule. My daughter she's got 2 jobs and going to school, and
Oh yeah.
she's got a boyfriend over here and whatever. I'm not see, I got her in trouble. I talked to her about her on a podcast one time, and I said something about her longtime boyfriend, and they had broke up.
Mm-hmm.
And I published the podcast, and immediately, like later that afternoon, my daughter Ava comes, is like, "What did you say on the podcast?" Like, I don't know. I just something about your boyfriend. You guys aren't going out anymore. Well, I got a text, and she kind of just went off. Like, you can't be doing that anymore.
Well, this just really got away from bass fishing, didn't it?
Yeah, right. It did.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks. They're such good girls. They're 18 and 20 now,
There you go.
like they're almost out of the house. We're trying to keep them in the house still. I keep telling them, don't move out. You don't need to be spending $1,500, $2,000 on rent for nothing.
Yeah, well,
Just stay here, play by our simple little rules, and everything is going to be great. You guys will be good.
there you go. See how that works out.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks for
And,
having me.
We'll see you at the shop or on the lake or whatever.
Yeah, soon, hopefully.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right, see you guys.